and welcome back to Sundays in the Garden. If you're new here, my name is Sarah, and on this channel I share all of the things I'm getting up to in my English cottage garden and allotment area. If you're new, I would love for you to subscribe so you can stay up to date with everything I'm sharing in the remainder of 2024 and into 2025. In today's video, I'm going to take you on a tour of the garden and allotment area in the month of September 2024, and things really are starting to change now as we are moving into autumn. So as you can see, the garden is looking decidedly more autumnal now. As the leaves begin to fall, the vibrant colours and greens are being replaced with reds, golds and browns. The crabapple tree is heavy with fruit, and the dahlias are really starting to come into their own. Just look at all that vibrant green. This is the beautiful Sandra. Here we have the wonderful cream and yellow Seattle, and there are a couple of these already. The cafe au lait dinner plate variety over here. Lots of blooms still to come over here. We have the dwarf Mina variety, and then this little dwarf variety I'm afraid I don't know the name of. I had it for my birthday. Another I don't know the name of, as it's one I had from a tuber last year. And this is the beautiful golden emblem which I grew last year. Next, I am absolutely delighted to be welcoming these wonderful hellebores to the garden. This variety is the Alma. Then we have this beauty, which is the Victoria. And then my personal favourite, I absolutely love this one because of the delicate pink colours and because the flowers look to me like lotus flowers, just so beautiful, is the Eleanor. I could look at these beautiful flowers all day, and I hope she really enjoys being in the garden. This is the area I'm going to clear and partly dedicate to hellebores. I hope to add many more beautiful varieties in the years to come. I have also begun planting up my winter planters. This one's filled with heather, cyclamen and trailing ivy, and I've got one by my front door too. I love the way the heather adds height at the back here. The cyclamen gives these pops of colours within the dark green foliage, and then the pale green ivy spills over the front. I'm also thrilled with how well the lavender cuttings are doing, and I hope all of this new green growth will mean that we'll have some beautiful strong plants to plant in the garden next year. The lavender this cutting was taken from was used in our wedding confetti, and I hope the lavender continues to thrive in our garden for many years to come. As you can see, the pond area is looking decidedly more overgrown and autumnal now. The summer colours of the roses and the lavender have gone, and it is only the meadowsweet which is trying to put on a last final flourish. A final reminder of what was and what will come again. The story is much the same further up the garden with the loosestrife. Here it was back in springtime, and at its glorious colourful best in the summer, giving us this wonderful display. It's now time to think about cutting back this area and mulching it over, ready for the next season. Coming up to the area near the greenhouse, and the foxglove supports need to be removed. Thinking back to how beautiful this area looked in the summertime, this was the first season with foxgloves in this area of the garden. These foxgloves have now dropped their seeds, and there are lots of new plants beginning to emerge, as well as all this lovely green growth at the base of the original plants. I can't wait to see the display they put on next year. The verbena is still blooming and providing a wonderful pop of colour up at this end of the garden, but the heavy rains have taken their toll, and it's starting to lack support now. I'd love to hear how you support the verbena growing in your gardens. Okay, so now we come to the problem area. My tomatoes. Now, I've always grown my tomatoes every year in the greenhouse, and they always do really well. And I don't believe, I've been here for 10 years now and grown tomatoes pretty much every year since I've been here. I don't believe we've ever had blight. However, I think that might have changed. Or is it something else? Help me out. is this blight? Okay, so as you can probably see, the fruit is looking rather strained at the bottom here. And then this is how the leaves are looking. Lots of lovely red fruit, which I'm going to pick. We've got these here, these beauties, all looking healthy down here. And some trusses starting to redden up at the bottom there and underneath. But this is something I haven't seen before. What has caused that? Is it blight? Are these leaves showing signs of blight, or is that something else? Let me know, and then I'll kind of act accordingly. If it is blight, I need to get all of this picked and then get this foliage out of here and clean the greenhouse. If it's not, I'll be really happy. But yes, please just let me know, because I don't think we've ever had this problem before. I am the same as, I've been watching Danny over at the Grow Up channel, and he says he's not had much success with aubergines, and it seems that I am the same as him, because I still haven't successfully managed to get an aubergine off of these plants. I don't know what's going on with them. They flower. They obviously aren't getting pollinated because the flower heads just dry up and drop off like this. So please, can you give me your best tips for aubergine? Should I be growing them outside? I tried to hand pollinate them with a paintbrush, a tiny paintbrush. So I was getting a little paintbrush in here. I probably showed you that on the last video, and was transferring it between other flowers. But nothing so far. So any tips on aubergines, greatly received over here. And this cucumber is still growing. I mean, it's getting colder and colder in here. So I don't think it's going to, I think I said last time, I don't think I'm going to get a cucumber off of this. But we'll see. We will always leave things until they are absolutely on their last leg. So I'll just leave it to keep going. It's not dead yet and it isn't looking unhappy. Yes, this has been very slow going this year as well. So it's been a strange story in the greenhouse. Normally it looks like a rainforest in here in terms of the tomatoes and everything growing in here. And this year it's been much more subdued, and I'm not really sure why. Is it because we have had less sun this year perhaps? But let me know, and any tips on any of the things that are going on in here, always really gratefully received in the comments. Things are looking decidedly more autumnal up here in the allotment area too, and you can see that there are many beds that are now looking decidedly quieter than they were last month. Down in the strawberry bed, the strawberries have the odd flower, and we're getting the odd strawberry from in here. We've stopped harvesting the rhubarb and are letting it replenish itself before the cold weather comes. And the chimney pot herb planters continue to be a resounding success story, providing us with all the herbs we need in the kitchen. I've harvested the remaining parsnips and carrots, and there were still a few of a reasonable size left in there, and cleared the peas. This bed I'm now going to save for my broad beans. Last year the broad beans were over in this bed, but I'm hoping they will do just as well down here. The brassicas continue to thrive and I'm keeping them covered. And then if we come up here to the further back bed, I did plant some turnips in here before we went on holiday, but I'm not sure if this is a turnip. Can anyone tell me? There's just a few starting to poke through the surface. I feel like they might be a turnip because I'm not sure what else they are, but if you could let me know in the comments, does this look like a turnip to you? Before we went on holiday to Austria, I also planted some carrot seedlings up here, and there are a few starting to poke through the surface. However, I don't think it's advisable to plant seedlings just before you go away and then leave them unattended for weeks, and I don't have much hope for what's going to happen here. I'm off to Malvern this weekend, so I'll be on the lookout for any plug plants I can find to fill these gaps. We are still getting the odd runner bean from the runner beans here, and the nasturtiums are still providing a pretty display to give us a touch of autumn colour. Over in the brassica bed, the Brussels sprouts continue to get fatter, and I'm really looking forward to enjoying some of these with my Christmas dinner. Up at the top of the plants there is some sign of slug and snail damage, so I think I'm going to remove the netting in the next few weeks just to see if I can find any of them and remove them before covering them back up again. Overall though, really happy with how things are looking in the brassica bed, and the cabbages are looking really happy too. Back back up with the courgettes now, and you can see that the leaves are starting to fade, but we are still getting a few courgettes from these plants. Under here you can see that there are still 2 courgettes coming and they look pretty healthy. And the plant to the right of this one is also still producing, but the courgette hiding under here has been decidedly munched. Over with the pumpkins now, and they're starting to turn orange. There really is a touch of magic watching this dark green flesh transform into the orange pumpkins we love. I really can't wait to make some delicious pies and soups with these beauties. And finally we come to the back section of the garden, where the right is still looking clear and the left is still looking overgrown, and the contrast between the 2 areas couldn't be more stark. This left section is our challenge for the autumn period, and we hope to transform it in the same way as we did with the right. Then I'm going to ask Father Christmas for a fruit cage and hope to put some fruit beds up at the back here for next year. And as always, this wonderful willow tree provides a beautiful backdrop for this section of the garden. And I'm sure you're all thrilled to know that the messy area is still reasonably tidy, and I hope to improve on this area in the winter months too. Thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video today, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time with my garden jobs for October, and perhaps a Malvern visit too.